Hi, my name is Denis, and I'm the founder of UnPlug. UnPlug is the smart plug that will help residential households save up to $300 on electricity every year. A typical North American household spends around $1,300 in electricity. That was the statistic for 2018. And a lot of people wonder, well, didn't this used to be cheaper? In fact, it did. It used to be a lot cheaper. Since the year 2000, the electricity bills have gone up by 64%. That is double the rate of inflation. Something that our average Joe wouldn't know, though, is that 23% of the electricity consumption is something that's called standby power. Electricity that is consumed by electrical devices that are plugged in, but not fully electrically shut down. And for a typical person, that means $300 every year go to waste. Now, good news is that there's a bunch of ways to deal with this problem already. You can physically unplug all the devices when you don't use them. You can use a power bar and press a physical button on the power bar to turn them off. Or you can use something called a smart plug and press a virtual button on your smartphone. The common thread here is that you need to be incredibly disciplined and remember about this to realize any kind of meaningful savings. That is until today, until UnPlug came into the picture. UnPlug is the first smart plug that will do this action autonomously without any user intervention whatsoever. So let's imagine our Joe sitting in the living room. He's watching his TV. He turns the TV off, gets up, and leaves the house. Normally, this TV would be consuming standby power. But because it has been plugged into the electrical socket through an unplugged device, once we have sensed that Joe has left, we completely shut down the electricity waste at the source. And not only did it happen in his living room, it also happened in his whole house. All the other appliances turned off autonomously as well. Some of the devices that Joe may want to target with this device are TV boxes, gaming consoles, washers and dryers, exercise machines, among many other devices that have high standby power load. Now our Joe has saved quite a bit of money, used it to take his beautiful wife on a date. Now is the right time for this product. Smart home market has been around for a long time. Since 1970s, we have items like clap lights or automated windows blinds and such. But not until only recently we have entered this new era that we call connected home. These devices, you can monitor their status from your phone, you can control them from your phone, but there isn't really any smarts beyond that. And that is where the existing smart plugs reside today. Recently, we have entered a new era in this space that we call intelligent home. These devices, they learn about your life. They learn about when you're at home, and they adjust their operation based on that. Think devices like Nest and Ecobee, for example. And really, the way we like to think about UnPlug is that it's the first intelligent plug that is really the Nest of the smart plug space. Now, talking about the market, smart home market is a growing market that is currently valued at $27 billion in North America. And it's becoming more and more popular with average consumers, with popularity of smart speakers like Amazon Alexa and Google Home and many others. Smart plug market is a subset of this smart home space, currently valued at $800 million in North America, projected to grow to $2.6 billion by 2021. And that is assuming that these devices stay in the connected home era. What we're trying to do with our device is to take it and bring it into the intelligent home era, make it more accessible for an average consumer. The reason we can do this is because we have several core differentiators about our product. First of all, we offer intelligent autonomous operation. Nobody else does this. We learn about people's behaviors when they're at home, when they're sleeping, and based on that, we shut down the standby power at the source without user intervention whatsoever. Next, we utilize a smarter hardware architecture than the state-of-the-art in the market. We use a hub-and-spoke model where all the intelligence is concentrated in a single UnPlug smart plug that we call a hub. This hub controls spoke UnPlugs that are a lot cheaper to make and hence to purchase for an average user. Lastly, we have hired a top-notch industrial designer to develop the look and feel of our product, so it looks pretty. And that is a very important consideration for a device that is going to go on the wall. And you spend many, many hours with your partner fighting about where the picture goes. So this is really important. Moving on, from a business model perspective, what we're going to do is our step number one is to go after crowdfunding. We're going to run a crowdfunding campaign to generate our first batch of orders, to fund our first manufacturing run, and fund the tooling that's required to do that. From there, we're going to transition into the e-commerce direct-to-consumer distribution. The type of customers that we would like to go after from the beginning is somebody who's already bought into the smart home ecosystem. Ideally, the kind of person who already has a Nest or an Ecobee, who understands the value proposition of our device that is incredibly similar. Lastly, we believe that there is a strong potential to create an ecosystem of products within the smart home space to follow on from this smart plug device. Think things like smart power bars, smart light switches, automated curtains, etc., etc., etc. We plan to retail these devices at $50 for the hub device. The cost to make is $20, leading to a gross margin of 60%. A spoke UnPlug would retail for $25, cost $15 to make, and the gross margin would be 40%. And you can study the financials later on. They're attached to the presentation. From this, we believe that the typical cost to outfit a house is going to come up to anywhere between $100 and $300. That is assuming a typical household would have anywhere between 3 and 11 smart plugs implemented. Our idea has started in 2018. We have incorporated in September. We won our first pitch competition at the University of Toronto in October. Early 2019, we collaborated with a couple of colleges and universities, acquired a talented team of technical people to help us expedite the development. Thanks to their help, we have developed a prototype, a hardware prototype for this product. All these things have allowed us to be here. Moving forward, we will continue the development. We will launch a crowdfunding campaign this coming fall, and in early to next year, the product will be released to the consumers. From a development perspective, what we have today is a slightly oversized hardware prototype that has all the functions that it needs to perform and that utilizes off-the-shelf components within it. In addition to that, we have also built out a foundation for our cloud platform and the artificial intelligence control. What we need to do going from here in order to achieve a minimum viable product stage is to take this oversized prototype and miniaturize it and place it within the sleek enclosure that has already been designed. To do that, we'll build out custom circuits, and we'll also need to add presence sensing capabilities into this. At that point, the only things that are stopping us from going full commercial are obtaining CE and UL certifications, performing a cybersecurity audit to ensure all the customer data is incredibly safe, and optimizing our design for manufacturing. We hope to use the proceeds of this competition, split them up 50-50 between development and marketing needs. On the development side, we will use the funds to finalize our patents and for immediate prototyping needs. On the marketing side, we plan to bring in an additional set of helping hands in order to run this crowdfunding campaign and establish a foundation for e-commerce distribution in the future. The team behind UnPlug currently is 4 energy systems engineers. We have gone to school together, but have specialized since then in our specific things. I have worked for an electric vehicle charging startup, and I have helped secure over $20 million in funding for R&D and demonstration projects. My business partner, Jacob, who's leading the business side, is currently wrapping up his MBA at the Notre Dame University in the States. Our cloud and software lead, Akshay, has completed his Master's of Applied Science at the University of Toronto in electrical and software engineering, and has a patent-pending algorithm to detect oil pipeline leaks. And our hardware lead is a nuclear engineer. It doesn't get much better than that. On that note, I would like to thank you, and I really hope that you can help us bring this vision of eliminating wasted electricity in every household into reality.